Banks borrowed 3 trillion naira from CBN in 1 week, says report. Finance Minister says petrol supply of Dangote refinery indicates Nigeria's march to industrialization. And Hong Kong stocks fall as investors digest China economic data, await Federal Reserve rate verdict. The program is Business Express, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Musa Abubakar, your guide. Now let's begin the program by telling you that Nigeria's headline inflation rate is to 32.15% in August 2024, down from 33.40% recorded in July 2024, reflecting a decrease of 1.25 percentage points. This represents the second consecutive monthly slowdown in inflation after easing in the previous month. This is according to the Consumer Price Index report published by the National Bureau of Statistics. However, on a year-on-year basis, the August 2024 inflation rate was 6.35 percentage points higher than the 25.80% rate recorded in August 2023, indicating a significant increase over the past year. On a month-on-month basis, the inflation rate in August 2024 stood at 2.22%, slightly lower than July's rate of 2.28%, signaling a slower pace in the increase of the average price level compared to the previous month. Data released by the National Bureau of Statistics has revealed Nigeria's gross domestic product GDP grew by 2.98% on a year-on-year basis in real terms during the first quarter of 2024. From the data, it could be inferred that the services sector was the key driver of Nigeria's GDP growth, with a substantial increase of 3.78%. This sector alone accounted for 58.76% of the total GDP, which was instrumental to the country's economic performance. Agriculture also showed a positive trajectory with a growth of 1.41%, up from 1.50% in the second quarter of 2023. The NBS report stated that the aggregate nominal GDP at the basic price was 60.9 billion. Now, the lifting of petrol has finally commenced the Dangote refinery, with the facility confirming that 110 million liters ready for loading. Marke Olaleye reports that the first instance, hundreds of trucks belonging to the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NPC Limited, set the process in motion, with the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, describing the development as a key step towards energy self-sufficiency and security.
And production costs come down to delivering lower cost products to the Nigerian market.
we can generate more than 54 million liters of PMS. And of course, the refinery has a capacity to produce various other products too. 44% of the production can meet the entire requirements of the country. 56% of the production has to be exported. So it's a huge refinery. So it's not only going to be doing import substitution, but it is also going to make forex generation through export revenue.
Also, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and NPC Limited has estimated 950 naira as the Lagos selling price of petrol sourced from Dangote refinery. This indicates that the selling price at NNPC's retail stations in other stations or states rather will be higher as transport costs will be factored in. The state oil firm disclosed this in an early Monday statement by its spokesperson Olufemi Soni. NNPC stated it paid 898 naira per litre for the 16.8 million litres of petrol purchased from the Dangote refinery on Sunday, September 15th. NNPC Limited explained that the new prices for September are based on figures obtained from the Dangote refinery and not set by the federal government. And now to talk more on that, we have Olabode Somi, who joins me via telephone. Mr. Somi, if you can hear me, a very good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, beautiful.
Okay, sorry, I couldn't make it.
Okay, no problem. Beautiful. We can hear you. What do you make of this development? Does this end the importation of fuel into the country?
I'm not sure anyone has said that it will end the importation of fuel, rather than Dangote or NNPC. Okay. What it just means is that Dangote is starting to supply petrol to Nigeria, and even though they may have some minor things to sort out, it's just starting. So the next important thing is going to be how much fuel does it make available, in what mode, and how much of it can Nigerians receive. When I say what mode, is it selling only via tankers? If it's going to sell only via tankers, given the road infrastructure that exists between that refinery and the rest of Nigeria, there's a lot of food for thought because they can only take so much. But if it's going to make it available via barges so that they can take it on the eastern front or the western front, that's Warri, Port Harcourt and all that, then there can be other ways of getting across. But those ones are about logistics. But even though they have also sold petrol to Nigerians, that does not automatically equate to petrol at the filling station, because the petrol is not going to crawl or run from the refinery and jump into the filling station. There is a process that will get it there. There's a supply chain of marketers that will get it across. And Dangote himself does not exactly have that supply chain across the whole of Africa. It's going to be other people that he's going to rest on. Those are the existing marketers. So, in answering your question again, what it does mean is that there's fuel or petrol coming out of the Dangote refinery. Whether that will mean end of fuel scarcity and more fuel available to Nigerians is a totally different discussion.
Okay, the Minister of Finance, Wale, described the situation or the development as a key step towards energy self-sufficiency and security. Do you agree?
Well, it is a step towards it, but it's not the same thing as energy self-sufficiency. So in other words, it is one of the things that will help Nigerians to be self-sufficient.
So how close are we towards self-sufficiency and security?
So when you say energy security, you are talking about two anchor points: availability and affordability. So all the actions and the steps that will make petrol available to everyone at an affordable price is energy security. They fall under the indices of energy security. So obviously the Dangote refinery working is one of them. But it doesn't end there, because when you look at our interland cities, it costs a lot different interland than it costs in Abuja or Lagos in terms of petrol price. Energy security also means that there will be uniformity of price, especially since the market is regulated, quasi-regulated somewhat. So in terms of steps towards energy security and all that, yes. In terms of energy security itself, it's a totally different ballgame.
Okay. Another thing is most Nigerians are worried about the price. We've seen the price. NNPC is saying this, Dangote is saying the other. What do you think about the price, and how sustainable? Do you think do you see the possibility of the price going down sometime soon?
I'm not sure how the price is going to go down in terms of expectations of Nigerians. I think part of the reason that has caused that expectations is the way the Dangote refinery was being reported across different media channels, of course, not including NTA, is that Dangote was going to operate like an NGO and just make things cheaper. It's a business. So it's first going to sell at competitive rates and a healthy margin, you understand, in terms of profit. So if the global concern for Dangote, for PMS, is a certain rate, I don't see Dangote going below that price, because his primary interest is not development, it's for profit, and it's his responsibility to shareholders. So that expectations need to be tamed, and people come to the reality of what is actually happening on ground.
Okay, thank you very much, Olabode Somi, CEO of Captree Limited. Thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure.
Now let's move. Let's turn our attention to aviation. With the legal backing to the compliance with the Convention on International Interest in Mobile Equipment 2001, known as Cape Town Convention, the Minister of Aviation and Space Development, Festus Keyamo, has opened the opportunity for Nigerian airlines to easily acquire aircraft and compete effectively with others in the world, following the issuance of the practice directions on the Cape Town Convention by the Federal High Court, which is vested with the constitutional jurisdiction on aviation matters. The airline said the minister has reached a milestone in the effort to make Nigerian carriers lease aircraft at cheaper cost, and also to make lessors rescind the blacklist of Nigerian operators on dry lease of equipment. The signing of the practice direction was presided over by the Vice President of Nigeria earlier, Senator Kashim Shettima, at the meeting of the Presidential Council of Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, PEBEC. At the Presidential Villa, Abuja, spokesman of the minister, Tunde Moshood, explained that since taking over office, one of the key points of the minister's five-point agenda is to support for the growth and sustenance of local airline businesses while holding them to highest international standards. Now, the Nigerian aviation sector gained global altitude last Wednesday when the country signed the Cape Town Convention, and by the act became one of the few countries in the world to pioneer the issuance of practice directions by the Federal High Court, which is vested with the constitutional jurisdiction on aviation. To shed more light on the signed Cape Town Convention practice direction as a game changer in Nigerian aviation sector and a big boost for investor confidence is an aviation analyst, Godi Ike. Thank you for coming on the program.
Oh, thank you very much, and I'm glad to be here.
Well, beautiful. What does the Let's begin this conversation by you giving us a picture of what this convention means, and by Nigeria being a signatory, what benefit does it bring to Nigeria?
All right. Number one, it has presented our dear nation to the world as a nation that is interested in doing business in the most civilized manner, a nation that wants to be trusted, and a nation that wants investors to believe in her and do business and be sure that whatever is the agreement of the kind of payment that can come to creditors, that they will get them as and when due. Prior to this time, investors and especially the international insurance companies didn't have confidence in dealing with Nigeria because, by the way, you know that insurance is all about, if the risk is high, your premium is high. And if the risk is low, you have low premium. And so prior to signing this, Nigeria was a high risk area. For instance, if one dry leased an airplane from some organization out there and then got here, did business with the airplanes, raked in cash, and failed or refused to make payment to the lessors, it was difficult for such lessors to have a recourse to how to get back their money prior to this. But now that we have signed up, it simply means that we can be trusted, and that if we lease any equipment, especially aircraft, we would pay as agreed. And so insurance companies are confident that nothing will go wrong with the business.
Our insurance companies are well positioned for this.
Sorry?
Our insurance companies, are they well positioned for this?
Well, it doesn't have to be our local insurance companies.
Okay.
There are other insurance companies around the world that deal with high profile transactions, such as the aviation transaction. It doesn't have to be our own insurance companies. But then again, our own insurance companies can participate if they seek partnership with bigger ones out there. Why not? They can strike a deal and participate in the whole thing. But I have to really congratulate the Honorable Minister, congratulate Mr. President and Vice and the rest of them who, after 18 years, by the way, it's important for you to know that this thing was put in place way back in 2006. Okay. And Nigeria attended that meeting.
So why was Nigeria reluctant to sign this particular convention?
My only answer to this would be that perhaps the governments of the past and the ministers of aviation that they had didn't really know the importance of signing up and didn't appreciate how not getting involved or not signing was keeping our aviation sector down. So it took a team that understands the importance of being trusted to do this, because aviation is an international business. It's not, you can be operating locally, but everything is decided internationally. And it's a worldwide thing. And so if you don't key in, you can't be trusted.
So how receptive do you think the market will be with this new development?
Sorry, come again.
How receptive do you think the market will be with this new development?
The market has no choice but to accept it, because in the first place, it would reduce airfares very shortly as soon as the insurance costs and the rest of them come down. I can bet you that the airlines would learn to bring down the airfares and then make aviation really do the job it knows how to do, because aviation is the fastest and the easiest way to move around goods and services in any nation. The impact of aviation on the economy of a nation cannot be quantified. You can't really understand how much Nigeria has lost.
Now, what a lot of people are asking is that would this actually translate to cheaper tickets and more routes for Nigerian airlines to actually travel to those other parts of the country?
To a reasonable extent, yes, it will. But then again, I will continue to recommend to government that we need to plan our interconnectivity scheme and put them in place. We need to also plan our cross-subsidization scheme. If I've said this severally in all the conferences, I keep saying it and I will not stop, because that is the only way we can get the airlines operate profitably. And then one more thing I'm going to recommend is, Mr. President, sir, if you can set up a committee that will look into the foundation of all the airlines operating in Nigeria and those that may be attracted, because I can tell you that a whole lot of investors who want to fly locally in Nigeria will begin to apply with this thing that we have done now, this the convention thing that we've just signed. A whole lot will begin to show interest to come and operate in Nigeria.
Okay, before I let you go, Mr. Ike, with this development, does it mean by just signing, that's just it, everything just fall into place? Or what would you like to see the authorities do to see
Oh, that's
that,
exactly what I was saying before you came in. Now, it's important for government to check the foundations of the existing ones, existing airlines at the moment, and ensure that we're not running airlines with slush funds. Slush funds are like cancer to the airline industry, because what the airlines who are running with slush funds are busy doing is just raking how much they can clean up and call. If, for instance, you pour in a slush funds of about $1 billion, for instance, and you're able to clean up $200 or $300 million, that's good for them. So it doesn't call for responsibility in doing what is necessary for the airline to be really rooted in the system and be trusted. So that has to be done. But those that will be coming now to want to invest in that sector, we must check out their foundations. And then the existing ones, we must be sure that they have clean foundations and that they are not being run with slush funds. In that way, the airline industry in Nigeria will explode, and more Nigerians will become capable of flying, because airfares will definitely come down.
Okay, thank you very much.
That would be my proposal to the government.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Godi Ike. It's been a pleasure sharing your thought with us.
Thank you, and I'm glad to be here.
Now let's take a trip to the commodities market. And now let's see how much an Naira is exchanging for the currencies. Now let's join Bossade, where she's standing by to bring us up to speed with a global stock market update. Bossade, it's over to you.
Thank you very much, Musa. Hello and welcome to the Global Market Review. Now, the regional benchmark closed higher on Friday and added 1.09% for the week as positive momentum returned to the market. Also, the Fed is meeting on Tuesday and Wednesday, with central bankers expected to cut rates for the first time since 2020. Meanwhile, European stocks closed mostly negative on Monday as investors prepared for a week of interest rate decisions from the U.S. Federal Reserve and the Bank of England. We see DAX dipping 0.25%, FTSE 0.1%, and CAC 40 of France also dipped 0.01%. Asia market closed mixed Monday as investors analyzed economic data from China and awaited the Federal Reserve's monetary policy move. Hong Kong Hang Seng Index topped 0.31% across 17,422.12, while the Nikkei and Shanghai Composite dipped 0.48% and 0.68%. U.S. S&P 500 futures were little changed this Monday morning at 0.54%, while the Dow Jones Industrial Average topped 297.01 points and Nasdaq at 0.65%. Now, most African stocks are closed today, Monday, in commemoration of Eid Maulud celebration. That's the Global Market Review. Back to you, Musa. I am Boside Obo Amosu.
Thank you, Boside. Well, that's it. Business Experts returns tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. I am Musa Abakar. Enjoy the rest of your day.